So we have a fully functional iMac 2017, works great, upgraded the OS, but I'm always thinking, what's next? I think it's time to install Windows. Let's check it out.
All right, we are back and in Sonoma on the 2017 iMac, which is a opencore patched version. So if you recall, the 2017 does not support Sonoma. We did the opencore patch and it's been running great. And I always meant to put Windows on this as well. But what happened was where is it? We go here to bootcamp. This is not working. Get this out of the way. Okay, if we go to bootcamp, bootcamp. Okay. So normally on a Mac, you would use this to install Windows. It will partition for you and it will download Windows for you and put it on a flash drive, and it's very easy. I've done it before. Problem is, I'm running Windows from an external device and it won't let me do that. So I already have a bootcamp flash drive, so I'm going to see if maybe we can do this. Let's try this. So this is not your normal situation. So let's go to here, partition, and we're going to try and let's do this. Like, what do we want? Like 100. Let's do 124. And then we want to do exFAT. I'm not sure if this is going to work because I remember before there was another step you were supposed to do after the exFAT. But we'll try it anyway. So we can do exFAT. So now we have this, and then I have this is the installer, the bootcamp installer for Windows 10. So let's try that. Name this Windows. Partition will be resized. Size and startup volume. So here we are booted from the flash drive. Here's Windows 10. Let's see if it's gonna let us do this. Don't have a key at the moment. Windows 10 Pro. Install. Is it gonna see the hard drive? Let's see. So there it is, fake Windows. Now again, it might install here, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to boot from it because I didn't do that other step, but let's try it anyway. So this is the drive 0 is the internal hard drive. So we don't want to run it from there because it's slow. So let's try drive 1, USB hard drive. Cannot be installed on drive 1 because setup does not support configuration or installation. Disconnected through a USB. Must be installed to a partition format. This should have been FAT32. All right, let's see what we can do about that. Okay, we made it Here it is. This is the Windows 10 installation on the 2017 iMac. The video is missing a part. I was attempting to install it in the first part you saw. And the problem is it won't let you install Windows on an external device. And the hard drive or SSD that I'm using on the iMac primarily is an externally mounted SATA SSD. I don't use the internal hard drive because it's so slow. And I've been looking for options. I'm going to eventually get a Thunderbolt or USB-C drive and then have Windows on a different drive. But I was under the impression that I could just partition the drive, install Windows on it, and it would be fine. It does not let you do that. And I spent an entire day, I'm talking hours, of watching people do it, but they always installed it on a different drive. It doesn't let you use part of the external drive. I don't know why. And I'm the type of person that just won't give up. I'll just keep going and going and going and going. But after an entire day of trying to do it, I just went ahead and installed it on the internal drive, which means it's going to be slow. But at least we're here, at least it's on, so we can check it out and see what happens. I will have to eventually get a different external drive just for the Windows. The funny thing though is that in the first video that I posted, which I'll have a link there below, that when I did it on the 2009, I believe, it was quite a process. You had to download the software, you had to use a USB, and then after you would, and then there was another step that I keep forgetting, something about GPT partitions. And then after Windows was installed, you had to install the drivers and everything. And I was thinking, this is a much newer iMac. This is coming from, I have Sonoma on here. And now the process is very smooth. I didn't use a USB drive. I just clicked on bootcamp in Mac OS. I clicked install Windows. It had me pick my partition size. You didn't see that part. For some reason, it wouldn't let me pick more than 250 gigabytes. And I don't know if that's just because there wasn't enough space or not, or that's just the limit. And then it said pick your partition size. So then I clicked next. And then it said pick your ISO for Windows. And I had already downloaded one, so I picked that one. And it installed, but okay, I started this process at like 8 or 9 p.m. and I was up till midnight and it still wasn't done. It took hours and hours and hours, and I guess that's because the hard drive is so slow. Not sure. Anyway, when I woke up in the morning, the Windows was installed. It actually just kind of, I didn't even have to push anything. It just kind of, it was Mac when I went to bed, and then in the morning it was Windows. So that was kind of weird. I'm actually not even sure if I can still boot into Mac OS. I'm just in Windows now. So I didn't do anything yet. I just wanted to show you the process so we can at least see how it is. I think it might be different on older Macs, but the 2017 is at least somewhat modern. I did get Wi-Fi right away, and I did get sound and microphone without installing anything. And it still says it's going to install something. So let's go to the bootcamp installer and let's see what it does. I did use Edge for a couple things. It is very sluggish. And again, I think it's the hard drive is the problem. This hard drive is super slow. I mean, it's really bad. I think it might be damaged or just so old that it just can't work right anymore, because it's only getting 50 megabytes, right? I think in the other video it was 50 megabytes per second. A healthy hard drive gets 100, and then an SSD should get like 400 to 500. So it's almost like running your operating system from a flash drive. In fact, I wonder if a flash drive would be faster now than this. So anyway, we'll speed this up and let it, actually, you know what we should do is before it installs everything, let's go ahead and see what the control panel looks like and see how slow it is. Oh, it's like dial-up. Okay, so let's go to Device Manager and see. So on the first install on the 2009, when you would go to Device Manager, there would be all of these things that were not recognized, and then you had to install each driver one by one to fix it. So let's see what we have. So there's no video driver yet, and that could explain some of the sluggish performance there. And then we have Apple HD Hitachi drive, which is very slow. Let's go to processors. So we have a 7th gen quad core. I think this is funny. So there's another video about when I bought this computer. I didn't know that it was a 7th gen really until I bought it. And I thought, you know, you can't really even buy a 7th gen PC all in one for 150 bucks. I mean, maybe you could if you got lucky, but my daily driver computer is a 3rd gen i5. So for me to see 7th gen, I feel like royalty all of a sudden. You know, it's kind of weird. But it's not fast though, so maybe once all of these things are done, it'll be faster, but it's too bad because I'm kind of wasting my time right now because I'm gonna have to do this all over again when I get the other external SSD. I kind of wonder if, because I still have my SSD from my 3rd gen i5, I wonder if it would just boot from it if I just plugged it in externally, because that's where all my documents and stuff are and my whole setup. That would be nice. So, oh, something's happening. Okay, it just freaked out. Ah, okay, here we go. Interesting. So as we were talking, it installed the Radeon Pro drivers here. Just start this over. Okay, we're back. I restarted the recording just in case something happened. So what happened was, as I was recording that and talking, the display adapter was installed and it freaked out the Zoom, and so it stopped sharing the screen. So this has a Radeon Pro 555. We have a Core i7. This is a 2 gigabyte model. Core i7, I'm sorry, Core i5 7th gen, i5 7400, right? Was the processor? Yep, at 3 gigahertz. So to me, I mean, when you talk about like a PC, budget gaming PC, this should be more than good, right? I tried to play Fortnite on Mac and it was just not working. It just had trouble and the resolution was all weird and stuff. But what I've seen other people do is they said that if you put, for some reason, there's some limitations on the Mac OS and what it can do with PC games. Even though it'll play them, they're ported, right? So I guess the porting, something happens and they're not the same. So what I saw people do was install Windows, play the same game in the native Windows environment, and it performs much better. So that's our that'll be our experiment here. And then we're going to do a couple, whenever this is done, we're going to do a couple benchmarks. So let's go to here. Just so sluggish. System about. I feel like I'm on some sort of Walmart laptop right now because it's so so slow. So yeah, there's your specs. So i5 7400, 3 gigahertz, 8 gigabyte. I mean, I think this is respectable. This is way better than my Dell computer. I mean, I have a better GPU, but I mean, just saying like spec-wise overall, this is much newer. And I think what it's doing here with the Apple drivers, it's installing the drivers for the, oh, there it is. Bootcamp installer successfully installed. Because the camera, the microphone, and the Wi-Fi already worked anyway out of the box. I probably could have installed the driver for the video GPU anyway, just manually. And I wonder if that might help anything. But they were saying the bootcamp, you have to install also the Bluetooth drivers, and then I don't know, maybe the chipset. So we have, see now also the support for the trackpad and the keyboard. So I mean, it looks like there's no driver for the monitor. Let's go to display, because this is 2017. It has a 4K display, so okay, that's good. Yeah, it does support it. I wonder if you can change the refresh rate. No, 60. Yep. Okay. All right, so let's gonna pause this for a second. I'm gonna download my usual benchmarks, Heaven and FurMark, and see what the GPU can do. So we'll be back in 1 second. Okay, and here is FurMark. Apparently, I haven't used FurMark in a couple months, and they changed the whole, whatever this is, the interface. Interesting. I remember when I was using FurMark all the time, it kept saying there was a new version that came out, but every time I would download it, it wouldn't work. So maybe this came out a long time ago. So I always do 1080p. And here's the GPU Z figures. So we have the Radeon Pro 555, which I've never heard of, GDDR5, 2 gigabyte. So I wonder, GPU clock is 800. That's kind of not fast. I wonder if there's a boost clock, maybe. Temperature is nice. Okay. So let's run FurMark and see what we got. So yeah, this looks way different. Wait, 17 FPS. Can't be right. Is that it? I mean, 2 gigs of memory. GPU clock is 800. That's kind of terrible. I'm trying to remember. I'm gonna probably type it on the screen, but I remember I tried the GTX 780. Was it? I think it was a 780, and it was getting like 25 frames per second. And I was kind of shocked, like, wow, that's kind of low. I mean, 15, 16, what's the point, really? So I guess, I mean, these were, from what I've read on a lot of these things, the iMac is basically a laptop with a screen. So this must be some sort of mobile version of a Radeon GPU, but when I saw 2 gigabytes, I was like, wow, that's pretty good. And it's not. I think I don't even want to benchmark anymore. This is terrible. I mean, you can't really overclock it anyway. What would it go up to? Like 20, 23? Well, I was very wrong. I thought it would at least be in the 40s, I don't know, like a 970 or something. But 16, no, I don't even want to watch this anymore. See how hot it gets. 71. Yeah, that's that's kind of terrible.